What's up, guys? Joe Holland here. I got something really special for you today. I'm going to review some hollow body frogs. Not just any hollow body frogs. We're going to review the entire Teckel lineup, including the very elusive and hard to get your hands on Teckel Sprinker frog. So we got the Sprinker, we got the Whacker, we got the Choker, and we got the Honker. We got all four of them. I'm going to give you guys an in-depth, honest review. I have nothing to do with Teckel. I'm not affiliated or sponsored by them. It's just something that's hot on the market that I want to bring to you. And not only am I going to review them, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give them to you. One lucky winner is going to get all four of these frogs, and it's so simple to enter. All you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Instagram, and share it on Facebook. That's all. That's all you got to do. And it's Joe Holland Fishing on all three of them. And I'm going to pick one lucky winner, date to be determined at the bottom of this video, and you're going to win all of these, including the Sprinker, which is selling for over $50 on eBay right now. And I got my hands on one, and I'm going to give it to you. There you have it, guys. Let's see how these things fish. I'm going to give you my honest review on every one of these baits, and let's see how they do. First up in the lineup is this really cool, unique frog by Teckel. Is the Honker. This thing, they have in every color, but look at what's on the feet on these. They actually have blades, but not just regular spinnerbait blades. These things actually look like a frog's foot. Now this type of frog isn't the type of frog that you're going to throw out there and just let it sit and kind of pop it or walk it. This is a reeling frog. You're going to fish this similar to how you'd fish a buzzbait. On top, you can kind of slow reel it. And what happens is these feet, they'll spin and they'll kick and they hit against each other and they make a ton of noise, you know, slapping into each other, and makes a really cool, like, tinkling noise as you reel it across the top. And you're going to get some explosions just like you should on a buzzbait. Very cool frog. It's got the same exact hook that all the Teckel frogs have. It's a straight shank with the hooks pointed upward just a little bit on the tip. Great big barb on it, and a lot of room from that tip to the bend. So really cool hooks on them. They're pointed straight up on the frog. It's not like a wide gap hook. I would compare this to more like a flipping hook, you know, where it's got that straight shank and a long bend with a big barb. So that's what the hook looks like. That's what the frog looks like. It's got a real nice soft body on it. Really good frog. I like how they put the weight around the hook like that, so the hook can actually compress and it won't be hitting that weight when a fish bites. So really cool things on that frog. Let's give it a whirl. Got one. There he is, guys. Got him on the Honker. That's how you want to hook him, right there. Double pegged right through the top of the mouth. Both hooks all the way past the barb to the bend. Not a giant, but he smashed that thing. That's the Teckel Honker going to work. Honker. And that is a honker right there. Wow. I saw that joker eat right by the boat. So what's going on now is, as you can see behind me, it's getting pretty windy out here. You know, you can kind of hear the wind. It just turned a little bit, and we got a front coming in, so it's harder for these fish to find a frog if it's just twitching on top, you know, or even just kind of slowly moving around. So I went to the Honker because it's got those metal legs and they make a lot of noise, and you could stop and twitch that thing and it's really loud and it pushes so much water. And that fish right there found it no problem and chomped it. He kind of took a swipe at it first and then just landed on it and really killed that thing. I didn't get him super deep. I got him on the side of the mouth there, but he's in the boat, and that's a really nice fish. Great fish on a frog. All right, so there you have it. There's the Teckel Honker. Couple fish for you. Stabbed them real good, both in the top of the face, top of the head. Drove that hook right to the corner. Really cool frog. I'm very pumped up about this one because there's nothing else on the market quite like it. The things I like about it, and how I could definitely see myself using this in tournaments, is a little bit of wind, a little bit of chop, trying to find some fish and some thick vegetation. This thing's going to call them out. It's loud, it makes a lot of noise, it moves a lot of water, and it makes a really unique disturbance on the top that they've never seen before with those legs. Now, as far as using it, I learned something new about it that's pretty cool. Is it's not something that you have to just reel straight. It will stop. Sometimes it will fill up with water, you know, when you have your weight down there and the legs and the swivels and everything are heavy. So it did sink a couple times on me when I was messing around with it a lot. But for the most part, it will just sit there, and it'll get bites just sitting there too. But it's like, I wouldn't quite call it walking, but it does a really erratic action if you try to walk it. It almost pops sometimes. Sometimes it'll dart away, and a lot of times it'll just smash those legs, it'll get it moving and really create a big disturbance on the water. So really impressed with the Honker. I got to tell you, that's going to be in my lineup. I like how soft that body is and the shape of those hooks when he bites. So if you look at that, that's why I'm hooking them dead in the top of the mouth every time they bite right there, is because of the shape of that hook and the angle that it's coming up and how soft that body is right there. Very cool frog. Honker is a win. Next frog up in the Teckel lineup is the Teckel Choker frog. Now right away I see quite a few similarities. It's the same exact hook, same weight system, pretty much the same body as their other frogs. Got a really good pointed nose, and it's actually shaped pointed downwards, which I think is going to get it a pretty good action and make it sit flat in the water. But the biggest difference between this frog and any of the other ones they have are the legs. So the legs on this thing kind of remind me of like Christmas tinsel. It's got like a really strong, stringy kind of tinsel, really bright, shiny, sparkly legs on it like that. They're very light, so you're not going to get a lot of extra weight for casting this thing, but the thing's got to be over a ½ ounce on its own, so it shouldn't be a problem at all. The one cool thing about casting it is you're not going to have those rubber legs or metal legs or anything to slow it down in the air like a kite. These things, as you could see, are, you know, they're very lightweight and not very big with any air drag on them, so they're going to fly through. Hooks on the thing, like I said, same hooks as before. Awesome, very sharp, long bend, pointed upwards, great shape. I can't see anybody straightening these out. You're going to have to really get into something serious or a log or something to straighten those babies out. They're shaped good. The body's very soft. This frog is going to sit really nice and flat in the water. I can tell just by the shape of the nose and the legs and having not much weight in the aft portion of it. So really cool looking. I like how they went to the trouble of putting some paint and patterns on the bottom of that frog, which is pretty rare in the hollow body frog market for some reason. I don't understand why, because, you know, the fish sees the bottom of the frog anyway. They're not seeing the top, and a lot of companies just paint the top and leave the bottom white or black. That's all they offer, or straight chartreuse. So I do like that they put some on the sides and the belly of that, so it looks even more realistic or inviting to a fish sitting underneath it watching it. So let's get this baby out there. Let's see how it fishes. Nice. That's how you want them to eat it right there, guys. 2 hooks, top of the face again. I really like these hooks. Oh, stuck them. Nice fish right there on the Teckel Choker. And he choked it. Well, there you have it. There's the Teckel Choker. Really cool frog. What I'll do is I'll compare it to like the Spro 65, because I think a lot of people are familiar with that frog, and that's a pretty good one to compare it to. I would say this frog is softer. It has that same type of rubber. It's not the material that, so to say, like a Copper's live target is made out of. It's not as soft as like a live target, but it is softer than the Spro 65 by a little bit. So I think it's going to be really durable like the Spro. It's a little softer than the Spro, and the hooks are different. These ones are pointed, you know, straight up if you see the angle at it. And this is pretty much how that frog sits in the water. You'll see that it sits pretty flat, and the hooks are already pointed up into the roof of the mouth. So when he jumps on that thing, he's going to get 2 hooks in the top of the mouth where you want to hit him. So all in all, real good frog. You have to work it a little bit to get it to walk. It's not a natural walker, but once you get it walking, I got it moving as much as 8 to 10 inches with 65-pound braid, which is a real good walk. So that was pretty impressive. I really like how that sits. It casts incredibly well. The hooks are great. It's weighted well. I think it's going to be really durable. You get really good hookups on it, and the hooks are great. So that's another one that passes the test. You know, money-wise, I think this is a little over $13. You know, you're probably, I don't know how much you gain from a Spro. I mean, yes, this looks cooler. It's got some designs on the belly, and it's a little softer. So if that's the things that you're looking for, and if you're looking for that style of hooks, go with this. If you're more worried about money, probably go with the Spro. But this is an awesome frog right there. It's really cool with the legs. I'm really curious to see how that hologram and glitter looks on a sunny day. I got an overcast, kind of dark day today, and they're still choking this thing. But on a sunny day, I think that's going to call them out. Now, I wouldn't say this is a frog that's going to call fish from a long distance away. This thing's pretty quiet in the water. It doesn't push a ton of water, and it's one that you're going to have to cast to the fish, and you're going to get a chance, you know, to work it over them. They're going to get a look at that, and they're going to eat it. But really cool shape, good, cool shape on that body, and, you know, choker's a winner too. Next up in the Teckel lineup of frogs is the Teckel Whacker. That's a really cool name. I like the names they use for these. Some of them I don't really understand, but Whacker, man, that's awesome. So here we go. It's the same exact body. You know, I got the same color on this. Same hooks, same weight, same shape. Everything's the same as the Choker and even the Honker body, but from behind the hook is what's important with the Teckel brand. So with this one, we have the round silicone rubber. Pretty much standard in the frog industry to put those in for the legs. They get a lot of movement. They kind of flare out, make it look big. They look good in the water. I like the colors they use on this. It's not too annoying, just bright enough to catch some attention. And they have them pointed pretty well, almost straight out. They're not straight back, so this isn't really a super frog design for walking. You know, when they're pointed straight back, it's easier to walk, but they're not pointed straight out to the side either. So this gives like a really good natural looking frog with some good hooks on it, a good shape. I'm betting this thing's gonna sit flat in the water. It's pretty heavy, it's gonna cast good. So let's get it out there and see how it fishes. Is that awesome or what? There's a big one. Got him on the Teckel Whacker. These fish are really shut off right now, believe it or not. We've had a couple of nasty storms come in the last couple days, and temperature dropped about 25 degrees and starting to sprinkle a little bit now, but they're not aggressive at all. They're super negative. Earlier today, you'd call them kind of in the middle, but these fish are negative. So that frog had to sit there for a long time and twitch and not really move it much, just above his head to get him to bite. But that's what he ate. He ate that Whacker. Now I like that bait for times like this when the bite's off, because the legs sit pretty well out, more like that. And if you twitch it a little bit, it tightens them up like that. So they're always moving just a little bit, making it look like it's a frog just chilling on the top. And you can just kind of leave it in the same spot. You don't have to move it at all to get a good action. So that's where that Whacker really came in handy to catch that fish. It's a good fish. That's a good one. Yeah. Whacker. I don't know why. They might want to call this one the Choker. That was awesome. Another good frog fish right there. Man, I'm really liking this Teckel brand. They're holding up. I've caught quite a few good fish today on them, and they seem to be holding up pretty good. There's the Teckel Whacker right there, guys. So what you're getting with the Whacker is the silicone round silicone skirt. Everything else pretty much the same. Body, everything else, hooks, the line tie, the color, everything's the same on the way up. You know, comparing that to a Spro 65, same deal. It's a little bit softer. The hooks are pointed upwards instead of on top of the back. I have fished this one and the choker on top of the mats, through the pads and through some vertical buggy whip style weeds, and have not gotten hooked up on anything yet. So I'd call it a really great 100% weedless bait. If you want this thing to sit a little bit flatter, because it doesn't quite sit as flat as the choker, you know, you could either take a couple strands out or just cut them a little bit shorter, and that'll sit a little flatter. Right now I'd say it sits kind of, you know, if this is flat, I'd say it sits at a little bit of an angle like that, which is perfect. You know, you're still hitting them in the top of the mouth. As far as action goes, it doesn't walk quite as well as the choker, but you can get this thing walking. You can move it, you know, 4 to 6 inches side to side, and you could get it popping really well, you know, and hopping really well too. I had this thing jumping right out of the water, and, you know, really good action on that. Another winner. I'm telling you, I'm getting really impressed by these Teckel frogs the more I throw them. All right, so we did the choker, we did the Whacker, we did the honker. What's that leave? Oh yeah, that leaves the Sprinker, the one that everybody's going bonkers over. Let's open this thing up and see what it's all about. Let's see what all the rage is about on this thing. This is a really cool, unique design. You know, it's basically a takeoff on the Whopper Plopper by River to Sea, but now it's on a hollow body frog instead of a great big body. Let's take a look. So they give you an extra tail. Wow, folks, there it is. What a great idea. And this thing is on a swivel with a split ring and a screw-in keeper. Now I'd say that rubber's like, it's more gummy than you'd get like on a Big Easy, and it might be like a little bit less tear resistant, so it might even be made out of the same body as the frog body. You know, it's hard to tell. I don't know if it's going to rip or not, or rip out, but it feels pretty strong. Everything from there forward, like I said on the other one, same exact thing. The hooks are the same, body's the same, painting the same. You know, this is, you know, for the same color frog. Everything looks pretty cool. The nose is pointed down on this thing, but it's all on the backside. You know, if you're a guy who likes the backside, you got to check out these frogs. That one's got a swivel, a split ring, and a boot tail. So I'm guessing that thing spins around and kicks up a lot of water. Let's give it a whirl and see what it's all about. Got him. Oh, first fish on the Sprinker. It's a good one. Oh, what a hit that was. So I stopped it. You know, I brought it through those pads. He's hooked good too. I brought it through those pads and then got to the edge and just stopped it for a second. And so it just followed that little bubble trail, I think, and that commotion. What a hit. What a cool frog. I'm pretty impressed already, you know, with the noise this thing makes. It makes that whopper plopper noise where it's like gurgling, spitting, and you know, you could reel it real slow and it's got the action. Then you speed it up just a little bit and you get that gurgle. Then you can go even faster and spit a bunch of water out. So really cool. This bait might be a game changer in the pads. We're gonna find out. Wow, boys. The old sprinkler is just, the Sprinker is putting it to, look at that big. Wow. You think the Sprinker works? Huh? Does anybody want that bait for free? Look at that thing. Look at that thing go to town, folks. Pegged. Oh, man. Wow. That thing has got crazy action. These fish have never seen anything like it before in those locations. It's like somewhere between a buzzbait and a whopper plopper and a frog. It's like a mix between all three of them in a spot where they've never seen anything or heard anything like it. So there's a big old fat fish right there. He just destroyed that Teckel Sprinker, and it hooked up and it stayed hooked up. There's a fish right there. See? And he's a good one. And he's a big one. Working to catch it on the Sprinker. Teckel Sprinker. Golly. Going to town with the Sprinker, fellas. Wow. Killing the Sprinker. That one ate it moving. Ate the sprinkler running. I never slowed it down, and he got both hooks right in the top of the face. Right where you want to hit them. Another one hit it reeling. That's something I was really curious about with this bait, is if you were going to miss them, you know, while you were reeling it. But I think with the angle of the hooks, you know, there's another one, two right in the top. The way this bait's angled and how hard they're hitting it, man, I'm not missing hardly any fish at all. Sprinker, man, this thing's the deal. I gotta admit it. That was an awesome day testing out these Teckel Frogs. Man, I give them a really high review, to be honest with you. I was a little skeptical on a couple of them going into it, but I'm really impressed with every single one in this lineup. I'm not associated with Teckel at all, no sponsorship, nothing like that. I paid full price for all these frogs, just so you know. Quite a few things that I really liked about them. First off, the hookup is amazing on them. All those fish that I hit were pegged hard, you know, usually two right in the roof of the mouth. Very, very sharp hooks. Nothing came off. I'd say these are about 95 to 100% weedless. I really didn't hook any weeds at all. I was fishing some slop mats, fishing some verticals, some horizontals, pad fields, a lot of stuff. Didn't get hung up at all in the grass. Didn't get hung up in the weeds or anything like that. So they're very good like that. The hooks are great. They all cast incredible. You know, they're all pretty heavy frogs for their size. They have a lot of give on them. You know, I caught over 100 fish today between these 4 frogs, and you know, the shape that they're in is pretty good. I put the Sprinker to work really hard. I wanted to test that baby out, so you could see like the eyes kind of wore off on it. Now they're just white eyes. He kind of lost his pupils a little bit, but I guess that would happen to me if I got hit that many times too. A couple war wounds on it. You know, you lose the paint a little bit around the hooks, but for the most part, they're extremely durable. The hooks didn't bend out at all, even on those big fish I caught. So I like how they sit in the water. They make a lot of noise, and the cool thing is, like, when it's flat conditions and you got to get in there a little stealthy, the choker's a great bait for that. It sits flat, and it's pretty lightweight. And then you could move up to the Whacker. You know, that's a great frog there. And then, you know, when it gets windy out, you throw that honker or the Sprinker, and you're going to call in fish from a long ways away. So, man, I appreciate you guys following me. I appreciate you checking out this video. Make sure to enter. It's so easy. 3 things. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Joe Holland Fishing. Follow my Instagram, Joe Holland Fishing. And share something on Facebook, or give a like on Facebook to my page, Joe Holland Fishing. If you want, you could tag your buddies, you could share it, you could do all that stuff. You don't have to, but man, it helps me out a lot. And I'm going to pick one winner We're going to randomly draw one winner, no matter the comments or how many times you enter, all that good stuff. One guy's going to win all 4 of these frogs that have been battle tested. Good luck, guys. Thanks for checking me out.